In this video, I'm going to share with you what to wear with big temperature swings when you're camping, hiking, and mountaineering. When you're climbing towards that summit and it's super hot and then it gets super chilly, everything's super, what do you do and how do you deal with it? This was a question put forth by one of my commenters, hopefully subscribers. Defend223, thank you so much for this comment. I'm going to read it verbatim so you know the context of the question. He said, or he or she, sorry, this person said, thanks for the vid. What do you recommend when it's, say, about 25 degrees, about, let's see, 25 degrees is, about minus 5 degrees Celsius during your summit bid, but in the summit, it's in the low teens, which is minus 11 degrees Celsius, and it's colder with the weather, and it's getting dark, and you're about to descend, and it's in the low and the teens. What do you recommend about adding base layers and or shell pants? I'm always good figuring out my upper body gear, but the lower body is tricky. I'm guessing this is for others too. Absolutely, Defend223, thank you very much for the question. By the way, put comments below and ask questions. I do read all my comments. It might take me a while, but I will get to them. So here's a big challenge. You're going for your summit bid. You're starting at the Alpine Summit start. It's 3 a.m. and it's freaking freezing outside, say 0 degrees or minus 17 or minus 18 degrees. You're standing in camp and trying to chomp and you're getting ready and you're drinking your drinks. And you're doing jumping jacks to warm up, but you're dressed up because of now, not because of then. That's the big challenge is when you first start off climbing, you're gonna freeze in camp, but once you get going, not even 10 minutes. I had this happen on when I was climbing, was it Mount Whitney in California? When it was in the middle of winter, I'm climbing Mount Whitney and it's freaking like 5 degrees or minus 16 degrees Celsius. I'm freezing, I've got everything I have on. Not more than 10 minutes of hiking. I'm having to stop and strip off layers. Oh my gosh, that was misery. But the legs, that's a bigger challenge. So let me get into the philosophy of what I do with that. When it's really, really cold, I have my Eddie Bauer guide pants, but they have a fleece liner in them. Now for me to wear these, it's got to be really cold, like near 0 degrees or minus 18 degrees Celsius with plenty of wind chill and just punishing as you're talking about. I'll start off with these and see how it goes. But typically, if I know I'm doing a summit bid where I know I'm going to be in the snow, I'm going to be slogging through it, I'm going to have shell pants. It's just kind of the way it is in at least my climbing experience. So I've got these shell pants here, and what I do is I consider shell pants to be a plus 15 degree Fahrenheit or about plus 10 degrees Celsius change and increase in the warmth of whatever I'm wearing. So if I'm wearing my fleece lined guide pants and I'm wearing my shell pants, it's got to be crazy cold. And then if I have to add in, let's see, where is it? My long underwear. Oh, yes, icebreaker long underwear. Love these things. I've got to be like on Denali. I mean, for me, it's got to be super, super cold because in my experience, what happens is I can pile lots and lots of layers on my head and my neck, but check this out. If you have a spare jacket or a spare shirt or something, let me dig through my piles of stuff here, and then I'm going to explain this to you. But what you can do, of course it all falls down, is if you've got that extra jacket, what you can do is if your legs are cold, you can actually wrap that bad boy around your waist or use it as a front skirt, especially if the wind's blowing at you. Tie it in the front and then whip it around. This skirt takes the wind chill off, but it doesn't overheat you. That works well in polar climates where it's blasting. Now, if the wind's blowing around and swirling, chances are that when you kind of come down, you're going to have to really load up. Now, the shell pants are super good. I'm almost always in shell pants for that type of mountaineering. But if I'm not, make sure you get shell pants that zip all the way down to the bottom. and all the way back up, because if you've got your crampons and your boots and whatnot, you're going to have to take those off to put any other style pants on, which you don't want to do because you're going to freeze your feet and then it's going to be miserable. So for me, what I do instead is whatever is on my legs is on my legs. The only mountain I really make a big change on would be Denali, where I put my extra insulated pants on the outside in the last 2,000 feet or about 700 meters of elevation gain. Because, man, let me tell you, changing out there is just H-E-L-L. You just don't want to do it. So what I do instead is if I'm going to go, and I know it's going to be cold, like the climb on Kilimanjaro, it's slow. You start at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and you got to wear everything because the climb is super slow, and it's impossible to generate heat. I literally had everything I had on: long underwear, guide pants, shell pants, 3 layers of shirts, an extra, had my 3 or 4 balaclavas and everything. But the super trick is if you overheat your head and you overheat your torso, as long as the wind chill is not cutting through your thighs and freezing you, you'll actually be okay. So what I do is I start off freezing when I start climbing, as long as I'm in control of my speed. When I'm with a team and I'm going at guide speed super slow, I know I'm going to be extra cold. So you could always bring, it's crazy to bring an extra pair of shell pants. That's generally not ideal, but what I have are my Mont Bell climbing pants. I love these things. I've used these on Denali multiple times, other cold conditions in the Sierras and the Rockies. They're a thick fabric. They're not really fleece lined, but they're plenty warm. But they do have a little bit of zipper action, so I can draw them off there, but it doesn't have hip zipper action. So that's one thing about, let me toss that down here, is if you have to go with the shell pants, unzip those bad boys way down to your knees, knowing that when you turn around and you start going down, you're going to be broiling. So that is a big consideration there as well. But what I do is I load up my shirts, my hoodies, my gaiters, my buffs. I literally go berserk and put everything on. The moment I turn around, I hit the summit, I don't even get, unless it's windy and bad, I get there and I turn around and I load this bad boy up and I put everything on me, because I know the moment I turn around, as long as it's a relatively easy grade, I'm going to freeze super solid. So the best that you can do is actually to cheat the system, assuming you're not getting polar thigh and your legs are actually freezing, is to totally overload yourself. And if the wind isn't too bad, literally create a skirt. Got to go Scottish on this one. Tie it around here. And boy, the warmth that gives you is really quite surprising in the difference that it makes. Now, another trick is I have custom designed insulated gaiters that are custom designed to keep my legs warm. That has been a huge boon and saved me a lot of trouble with having to mess around with trying to change out shell pants and zipping and unzipping by having, these are not super gaiters. They're custom insulated gaiters that don't require me to wrap it around my boot and fight with it. I love my super gaiters from Mountain Tools. Thank you, Larry, man. Really appreciate the support there. But boy, oh boy, having insulated gaiters to be able to put around my legs while still letting my thigh section stay cool has been a game changer for me. And I think it will too for you. So Defend 223, consider the insulated gaiters. I have these custom. We can make them for you. It's a little expensive. We haven't gone to a big production yet, but if I get a lot of comments and requests, we can actually kick these over to heavy production to make them available. The insulated gaiters, and also I have custom designed toe caps that actually go on. I actually have a custom toe cap that goes on the top of my boot that can get screwed into it. That made a big difference. So I didn't have to carry double boots. That was a huge game changer. Hopefully this has been helpful. Again, if you've watched this video, checked out these points, please leave me a comment and give me ideas for videos and questions that you might have that hopefully I can answer to make your experience better, because that's the whole point of my channel, is to help you enjoy your travel and adventure in the outdoors. My name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional traveler. Check out links below in the description to my books, Antarctic Tears, Adventure Expedition 1, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, the Jackson Hole Hiking Guide, The Most Crucial Knots to Know, How to Keep Your Feet Warm, Antarctic Tears, Lost at Windy Corner. I'll take you on Denali on my solo expedition to show you what it's like, as well as my shows, Antarctic Tears and The World Beyond. Thank you very much for watching, and stay warm and safe.